The 7 levels of DC gods. Level 1, the earthly gods. Wonder Woman. Diana of Themyscira, known as Wonder Woman, represents the entry level of DC's divine hierarchy, earthly gods and demigods whose power is significant but bound to Earth and its mythologies. As the daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta, Diana is a demigod by birth, possessing powers granted by the Olympian gods. Later in her history, she even became the god of war after killing Ares and claiming his mantle, demonstrating that godhood at this level can be earned through combat and worthiness rather than just birthright. Wonder Woman's powers are divine in origin but operate primarily on a planetary scale. She possesses superhuman strength, allowing her to trade blows with Superman, superhuman speed, rivaling Flash members, flight, near invulnerability, immortality, as long as she remains on Themyscira, and the lasso of truth, which compels honesty from anyone bound by it. Her bracelets can deflect virtually any attack, including Darkseid's Omega beams. As God of War, she gained additional abilities including enhanced combat prowess, the power to sense conflict anywhere on Earth, and authority over war itself. What makes Wonder Woman level 1 is that despite her divine heritage and godly title, her power is fundamentally tied to Earth and its conflicts. She's incredibly powerful within the planetary sphere, able to fight cosmic threats when they come to Earth, but she doesn't operate on cosmic scales independently. Her role as God of War gives her authority over human conflicts specifically, not universal warfare. She's a goddess serving Earth, rather than commanding dimensions or realities. Wonder Woman has accomplished remarkable feats demonstrating her godly status. She's fought Darkseid multiple times, restrained Superman when he was mind-controlled, led the Justice League, and as God of War, she commanded respect from Ares' armies and other war deities. She's survived battles that would kill most heroes, broken her own indestructibility through sheer willpower, and her diplomatic skills have prevented wars as effectively as her combat abilities have won them. Her divine weapons and artifacts amplify her power significantly. The lasso of truth is unbreakable and compels absolute honesty, making it useful for both combat and investigation. Her bracelets, forged from Zeus's Aegis shield, can block nearly any attack. Her tiara is sharp enough to cut Superman. These divine artifacts, combined with centuries of combat training, make her one of Earth's most formidable heroes. However, Wonder Woman has clear limitations keeping her at level 1. While incredibly powerful, she can be hurt and has been defeated by sufficiently strong opponents. Her immortality is conditional. She can be killed in battle, and her resurrection depends on various factors, including the god's will. Her authority as God of War is limited to Earth's conflicts. She doesn't command warfare across the cosmos. She's also bound by her moral code and compassion, which sometimes limits how she uses her power. Wonder Woman also represents the philosophical limitations of earthly gods. She's incredibly powerful, but ultimately serves humanity and Earth. Her godhood doesn't elevate her beyond caring about individual lives or petty conflicts. She's a goddess who fights street crime alongside cosmic threats, showing that her divine nature doesn't separate her from humanity, but rather connects her to it more deeply. What places Wonder Woman at level 1 is she represents earthly godhood, divine power and heritage bound to planetary concerns and mortal conflicts. She's a demigod who became a god, but remains fundamentally connected to Earth and its people. She's level 1 because while her power is divine and significant, it operates primarily on a planetary scale serving humanity, rather than commanding dimensions or reshaping reality. She's the foundation of DC's divine hierarchy, powerful, noble, and godly, but ultimately earthbound in scope and purpose. Level 2, the Pantheon Leaders. Zeus. Zeus represents the pantheon leaders of DC Comics, the supreme rulers of their respective godly civilizations who wield power, dwarfing individual gods. As king of the Olympian gods and father of numerous demigods, including Wonder Woman, Zeus has ruled from Mount Olympus for millennia with absolute authority over his pantheon. He commands the forces of sky and storm, embodies divine kingship, and his word is law among the Olympian gods. Zeus possesses power on a scale far exceeding lesser gods. His physical strength rivals or exceeds most superheroes, allowing him to fight beings like Darkseid. He commands lightning and thunder with devastating effect, generating electrical discharges that can obliterate mountains or kill other gods. His divine magic grants him abilities including shape-shifting, immortality, superhuman speed and durability, energy manipulation, and the power to bestow or remove divine power from others. As Skyfather, his authority makes his commands binding to all Olympian gods. What makes Zeus level 2 is his status as a pantheon ruler whose power is magnified by his position. He's not just a powerful individual god, he's the supreme deity of an entire godly civilization that has influenced human history for thousands of years. He commands armies of lesser gods, controls a realm that exists outside normal space, and his decisions shape the fate of both gods and mortals. His power comes from both personal might and divine authority. Zeus has demonstrated feats establishing his Skyfather level status. He's fought the Anti-Monitor during Crisis on Infinite Earths, battled Darkseid when the new god threatened Olympus, destroyed lesser gods who challenged his authority, and reshaped human civilization through his interactions with mortals. His lightning bolts have shattered mountains, and his divine wrath has destroyed entire armies. During the Darkseid War storyline, Zeus's daughter Wonder Woman absorbed his power, showing the immense divine energy he commands. Zeus's authority over the Olympian pantheon is absolute. He can command gods to perform tasks, punish them for disobedience, and his word reshapes Olympian law. He's granted divinity to mortals like Diana, stripped divine power from gods who displeased him, and his judgments on Olympus are final. This authority makes him far more powerful than his individual strength would suggest. He commands an entire civilization of divine beings. However, Zeus has significant limitations keeping him at level 2. Despite his immense power, he can be defeated by sufficiently powerful cosmic entities. He's died multiple times in DC continuity, though typically returning through various means. His power is tied to worship and belief. As humanity has moved away from believing in the Olympian gods, their power has waned. He's also bound by cosmic laws and can't simply do whatever he wants without consequences from beings like the Presence or other cosmic authorities. Zeus also embodies the flaws of classical mythology's gods. He's arrogant, lustful, often foolish despite his power, and his personal failings have caused immense suffering throughout history. His countless affairs have created demigods and conflicts across millennia. His pride has led to wars, his temper has caused catastrophes, and his governance of Olympus is often characterized by drama and internal conflicts. He's powerful but deeply flawed. What places Zeus at level 2 is he represents pantheon leadership, supreme divine authority over an entire godly civilization. He's more powerful than individual gods, can affect planetary events, and his magic operates at levels that challenge cosmic threats. He's level 2 because he's achieved the peak of pantheon-level divinity, ruling a godly realm and commanding lesser deities, but he's still bound to his mythology and Earth's sphere of influence. He's a god king, whose authority makes him formidable, capable of fighting cosmic threats when they threaten his domain, but ultimately remaining tied to his pantheon rather than transcending to truly universal cosmic status. Level 3. The New Gods. Darkseid. Darkseid's avatar form represents the new gods, beings from the fourth world who exist beyond standard reality and project avatars into the multiverse. The Darkseid that the Justice League fights is not the true Darkseid, but a fragment of his consciousness inhabiting a lesser body. Even in avatar form, Darkseid is one of DC's most dangerous villains, the tyrannical ruler of Apocalypse who seeks the anti-life equation to control all sentient will in the universe. Darkseid's avatar possesses power that makes him a planetary-level threat. He has superhuman strength, rivaling or exceeding Superman, near invulnerability that withstands attacks from Earth's mightiest heroes, and his signature Omega beams, energy beams that erupt from his eyes that can disintegrate targets, teleport them across space and time, or alter their molecular structure. The Omega beams can track targets, turn corners, and are nearly impossible to dodge. His genius-level intellect and mastery of advanced apocalypsean technology make him as dangerous mentally as physically. What makes Darkseid's avatar level 3 is that even this limited form operates beyond normal godly power. The new gods exist in the fourth world, a realm outside the standard DC multiverse. They're singular entities. There's only one Darkseid across all universes, sending avatars into different realities rather than existing as separate versions in each universe like most beings. This makes even his avatars fundamentally different from pantheon gods who exist within standard reality. Darkseid's avatars have accomplished feats demonstrating their threat level. He's conquered countless worlds, fought the Justice League repeatedly and often won, killed heroes and civilians alike, and his rule over Apocalypse has created a nightmare world of constant warfare and oppression. His quest for the anti-life equation has driven conflicts across the universe, and he's shown willingness to destroy entire civilizations if they stand in his way. He once successfully spoke the anti-life equation and enslaved Earth's population. Darkseid's avatars also command the forces of Apocalypse, armies of parademons, elite warriors like the female Furies, and his sons including Calabac and Orion. His technology includes mother boxes, boom tubes for teleportation across vast distances, and weapons that can threaten gods. His strategic genius means he's as likely to win through manipulation and planning as through direct force. He's a conqueror who's successfully subjugated entire star systems. However, Darkseid's avatars have clear limitations. While incredibly powerful, they can be defeated by the Justice League working together, especially when Superman and Wonder Woman are involved. The avatars are limited projections of his true power, making them vulnerable in ways his true form isn't. He can be killed in avatar form, though this simply means he'll create a new avatar eventually. His weakness to radium and certain other rare materials provides exploitable vulnerabilities. The avatars are also bound by the physical laws of the universes they inhabit, in ways the true Darkseid isn't. They experience time linearly, can be trapped or imprisoned, and their power, while vast, operates within comprehensible physical parameters. An avatar Darkseid can be knocked unconscious, restrained, or teleported away, tactics that wouldn't work on his true form. What places Darkseid's avatar at level 3 is he represents the new gods, beings existing beyond standard reality who project limited forms into the multiverse. Even in avatar form, he's a planetary-scale threat, requiring Earth's greatest heroes working together to defeat. He's level 3 because his avatar form operates at levels exceeding Pantheon gods, commanding advanced technology, wielding the Omega effect, and pursuing goals of multiversal conquest. However, he's still a limited projection, rather than the true cosmic horror his actual form represents, making him immensely dangerous, but not yet at the reality-threatening levels of his true self. Level 4, the Cosmic Deities. Darkseid. Darkseid's true form represents a terrifying escalation to cosmic deity status, a being whose actual body is so massive and powerful that it exists outside the standard multiverse in the fourth world, and whose mere presence can shatter universes. The avatars that fight the Justice League are mere projections, shadows of the true Darkseid, whose fall during Final Crisis nearly destroyed the entire DC multiverse. Understanding true form Darkseid is understanding that everything heroes fight is just an echo of something far more terrible. True form Darkseid exists in the fourth world, a higher plane of reality beyond the 52 universes of the DC multiverse. His body is cosmically massive. When it fell through dimensions during Final Crisis, reality itself couldn't contain it without collapsing. His Omega effect in true form doesn't just disintegrate targets. It erases them from existence across all timelines and realities. His power warps space and time around him, and his presence is so immense that the multiverse's structure buckles under the weight of his existence. What makes true form Darkseid level 4 is the scale at which he operates. He's not fighting for planets or even single universes. He's a multiversal threat whose true body falling created a singularity that would have consumed all 52 universes. He exists as a singular entity across the entire multiverse, meaning every avatar in every universe is the same Darkseid. His war against Highfather and New Genesis has raged across dimensions, affecting countless worlds and realities simultaneously. True form Darkseid has demonstrated power that establishes him as a cosmic deity. During Final Crisis, his death threatened to collapse the entire multiverse into a black hole. He successfully obtained and spoke the anti-life equation, enslaving most of Earth's population and corrupting heroes into his servants. He's fought the source itself, the fundamental power of the DC universe, and his goal of conquering all reality isn't empty boasting, but a genuine threat given his power level. The anti-life equation quest demonstrates true form Darkseid's cosmic ambitions. This mathematical formula, when spoken, proves that life is meaningless and free will is an illusion, allowing Darkseid to control all sentient minds. His pursuit of this equation isn't about conquering worlds through military might, but about achieving absolute dominion over all consciousness in existence. This goal operates at philosophical and existential levels beyond simple tyranny. True form. Darkseid's battles with Highfather show conflicts operating at cosmic scales. These aren't fights that can be won with punches. They're multiversal wars where entire planets are pawns and universes are battlefields. The New Gods' conflicts affect the fundamental balance of DC's cosmology, with Darkseid representing tyranny and control opposing New Genesis's ideals of freedom and growth. However, true form Darkseid has limitations preventing him from being level 5 or beyond. He exists within the fourth world, which, while beyond the standard multiverse, is still part of DC's cosmology. He can be opposed by beings of similar cosmic stature like the Monitors, Perpetua, or the Source. His avatars can be defeated, limiting his direct interaction with the multiverse. Most significantly, during Final Crisis, he was ultimately defeated through reality-warping intervention and the death of the New Gods, showing he's not invincible even at cosmic scales. True form Darkseid is also bound by the eternal conflict with New Genesis. This balance prevents either side from absolute victory, suggesting there are cosmic rules or forces that constrain even true form Darkseid's power. He seeks the anti-life equation precisely because he lacks the inherent power to achieve his goals without it, indicating limits to his natural abilities. What places true form Darkseid at level 4 is his operation at multiversal cosmic scales. His true body exists beyond standard reality, his presence threatens the multiverse's structure, and his power operates at levels where universes are the battlefield and his avatars fighting the Justice League are mere shadows of his true might. He's level 4 because he's transcended planetary or universal limitations to become a cosmic deity whose existence and goals affect the entire DC multiverse. However, he operates within cosmic hierarchies, can be opposed by similar beings, and hasn't achieved the omniversal transcendence or supreme power of the highest levels, making him a cosmic horror, but not yet a force beyond opposition. Level 5, the multiversal powers. The monitors. The monitors represent multiversal powers, beings created to observe and protect the 52 universes of the DC multiverse, operating at a level where individual universes are their responsibility and their power spans all of creation. Originally, there was one monitor who observed all realities, but after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis, 52 monitors were created, one for each universe. They exist outside standard reality in the monitor sphere, observing and occasionally intervening when multiversal threats emerge. The monitors possess power, operating at multiversal scales. They can perceive events across all 52 universes simultaneously, travel between universes at will, manipulate reality within their assigned universes, and possess technology and abilities that dwarf mortal comprehension. They're essentially immortal unless killed by specific means, and their understanding of the multiverse's structure allows them to predict and counter threats that would destroy individual universes. What makes the monitors level 5 is their scope of responsibility and power. Each monitor oversees an entire universe, making them caretakers of reality itself. They don't just watch, they have the power and authority to intervene when multiversal balance is threatened. During Final Crisis, the monitors' conflicts and the corruption within their ranks created multiversal level threats. Their actions and decisions affect billions of beings across infinite worlds simultaneously. The monitors have demonstrated their significance through various crisis events. During Infinite Crisis, the surviving monitor Alexander Luthor used multiple Earths to recreate the perfect universe, showing monitors can manipulate the fundamental structure of reality. During Final Crisis, the monitor's internal conflicts and Mandrak the Dark. Monitor's corruption threatened all of creation. The monitor's technology includes the multiversal orrery, devices that can observe or affect reality across dimensional barriers, and weapons that can harm cosmic entities. The original monitor and anti-monitor's conflict during Crisis on Infinite Earths demonstrated the scale at which monitor-level beings operate. Their war consumed infinite Earths, collapsing the multiverse into a single universe. The anti-monitor destroyed entire universes by converting them to antimatter, while the monitor worked to preserve reality itself. This conflict required heroes from countless Earths working together to resolve, showing that monitor-level threats require multiversal responses. However, the monitors have significant limitations. They're not omnipotent or omniscient, despite their vast power. They can be killed, corrupted, or deceived. During Final Crisis, many monitors died or were corrupted by Mandrak and the Dark Multiverse's influence. They're also bound by their duties as observers. They're not supposed to directly interfere in their universes, except when absolutely necessary. This self-imposed limitation means they often watch terrible things happen without intervening. The monitors also exist within a hierarchy. Above them are beings like Perpetua, who created the multiverse, and the source which empowers all existence. The monitors serve functions within the cosmic order, rather than being its ultimate authority. They're powerful caretakers rather than omnipotent gods, showing that even multiversal powers exist within larger structures. What places the monitors at level 5 is their multiversal scope and responsibility. They observe and protect entire universes, operate at scales where they perceive all 52 universes simultaneously, and their power allows them to affect multiversal structure itself. They're level 5 because they transcend individual universes to operate at the multiversal level, each monitor responsible for an entire reality, collectively maintaining the balance of all existence. However, they exist within cosmic hierarchies, can be defeated or corrupted and serve functions rather than possessing supreme authority, making them powerful caretakers of reality rather than its ultimate masters. Level 6. The Omniversal Forces. Perpetua. Perpetua represents omniversal forces, beings from beyond the DC multiverse who created entire multiverses and operate at scales that make even the monitors seem limited. She's not a god within the multiverse, she's one of the hands, cosmic beings tasked by the source with creating multiverses throughout the greater omniverse. Perpetua literally forged the DC multiverse, creating all 52 universes and their underlying structure, making her the mother and architect of all DC reality. Perpetua was one of multiple hands existing in the greater omniverse beyond the DC multiverse. She created the DC multiverse using crisis energy, forging the positive matter universe, the dark antimatter universe, and the mysterious dark multiverse. She didn't just shape existing reality, she built it from nothing, establishing the fundamental laws governing how the multiverse functions. She also created 3 suns to help maintain her creation: the World Forger to create positive matter worlds, the Anti-Monitor to destroy failed worlds, and the Monitor to observe and maintain balance. What makes Perpetua level 6 is her status as a creator deity operating beyond the multiverse itself. She didn't evolve within DC reality or gain power through conquest. She built DC reality according to specifications from the source. Her power allowed her to shape fundamental forces governing infinite universes. She manipulated crisis energy, the fundamental force that reshapes and recreates the multiverse during crisis events. She operated at omniversal scales, creating a multiverse as a weapon rather than as a living cosmos. Perpetua's most terrifying aspect is her original purpose and betrayal. She didn't create the multiverse to nurture life or promote existence. She created it as a weapon to wage war against other hands and potentially the source itself. When the source discovered her betrayal, they ordered her sons to seal her away and reshape the multiverse to serve life rather than destruction. Her imprisonment behind the source wall was meant to be eternal, but she eventually escaped during Dark Knight's Metal. During her return in Justice League's Year of the Villains storyline, Perpetua demonstrated power, validating her omniversal status. She corrupted multiple universes, transformed Earth's heroes and villains by offering their heart's desires through Lex Luthor, and waged war against the combined forces of the Justice League, cosmic entities, and her own sons. She manipulated crisis energy to restore her power, showing she could affect the fundamental forces governing multiversal structure. Perpetua's battle against her sons demonstrates the scale at which omniversal forces operate. The World Forger, Anti-Monitor, and Monitor, each incredibly powerful cosmic entities, themselves had to work together to stop her originally. During her return, defeating her required reforming the multiverse's fundamental structure and heroes from across all realities working together. Her power was such that she rewrote the multiverse's purpose and nearly succeeded in her goal of reconquering creation. However, Perpetua has significant limitations despite her omniversal power. She operates within rules established by the Source and the greater omniverse. Other hands exist who are her equals, and the Source itself is superior to her. When she was at full power, she was defeated by her 3 sons working with the multiverse's heroes. Her need to absorb crisis energy to restore her strength showed she's not omnipotent. She requires external power sources. She can be imprisoned, sealed, and ultimately defeated by sufficient opposition. Perpetua also demonstrates that even creator deities can be corrupted and make catastrophic choices. Her decision to weaponize her multiverse rather than nurture it shows that power at omniversal scales doesn't guarantee wisdom or benevolence. Her defeat required not just power, but the reformation of the multiverse's purpose, showing that cosmic structures can be reshaped even by their creators. What places Perpetua at level 6 is her status as an omniversal force who created the entire DC multiverse. She's not a being within the multiverse, she's the architect who built it, operating from beyond standard reality. She forged all 52 universes, established fundamental laws, and her power operates at scales where multiverses are constructs to be shaped. She's level 6 because she transcends multiversal beings like the Monitors to exist as a creator deity from the greater omniverse, wielding power that shaped all DC existence. However, she operates within hierarchies established by the Source, can be opposed by beings of similar power, and was ultimately defeated by the combined opposition of her creation, showing that even omniversal creators aren't supreme and can be overthrown when their creations unite against them. Level 7. The Supreme Being. The Presence. The Presence represents the absolute apex of divine power in DC Comics, the supreme being who created everything that exists in DC, from the smallest particle to the infinite omniverse. He's not just the most powerful God, he's God with a capital G, the creator of all creation, from whom all existence emanates. Every universe, every dimension, every cosmic entity, every hero and villain exists, because the Presence willed them into being. Within DC's cosmology, the Presence is the ultimate, unquestionable, supreme authority. The Presence is truly omnipotent. He can do literally anything without limitation. He's truly omniscient. He knows everything across all realities, timelines, and possibilities. He's truly omnipresent. He exists everywhere and nowhere, pervading all creation simultaneously. These aren't exaggerations. Within DC, the Presence is definitively the supreme being above whom nothing exists. Even beings like Perpetua, the Monitors, and Darkseid's true form ultimately derive their existence and power from him. What makes the Presence level 7 is his absolute supremacy over all existence. He doesn't rule creation. He is creation in its totality. He created Lucifer and Michael, 2 of DC's most powerful angels who themselves possess universe-creating powers. He created the Endless, beings who embody fundamental aspects of existence like death, dream, and destiny. He created the source, the fundamental force empowering all beings in DC. Everything exists within him and by his will. He's not part of any hierarchy. He's the source of all hierarchies. The presence rarely appears directly in DC Comics, and when he does, it's typically as a disembodied voice or as a gentle hand reaching into reality. In the Lucifer series, he appeared as a voice speaking to Lucifer, delegating Hell's management before eventually retiring from actively managing creation. His appearances are characterized by absolute authority. When the presence speaks, reality reshapes itself to match his words. His will is law not through enforcement but through fundamental truth. The presence's power is demonstrated not through combat but through creative and absolute authority. He created the DC Omniverse from nothing. He established the fundamental rules governing existence, magic, physics, and reality itself. When Lucifer rebelled and left heaven, it was only because the presence allowed it. Even the most powerful rebellion occurs within his permission. The Spectre, one of DC's most powerful beings, is merely the presence's spirit of vengeance, a tiny fraction of his power. The theological implications of the presence are significant in DC's cosmology. He's portrayed as infinitely loving, yet infinitely just, all-knowing, yet respecting free will, all-powerful, yet choosing not to micromanage creation. This creates complex philosophical questions about predestination, free will, and why he allows suffering when he possesses power to prevent it. DC's stories suggest the presence values free will above preventing all harm, allowing even terrible things to occur because forced goodness would negate freedom. However, even the presence's portrayal has some inconsistencies across DC Comics, reflecting different writers' interpretations. Some stories suggest he's the absolute supreme authority beyond question. Others hint at beings or forces beyond him, or suggest multiple aspects of divinity that together form what's called the presence. Some recent stories have attempted to humanize or limit him, though these typically face fan backlash for diminishing DC's supreme being. Despite inconsistencies, the presence is generally portrayed as DC's supreme being. He created Perpetua and the other hands who forge multiverses. The source, which empowers new gods and from which all things flow, is often portrayed as an aspect or manifestation of the presence. When cosmic beings petition for judgment or intervention, they're ultimately calling on aspects of the presence. He's the ultimate reality underlying all DC Comics, the force that ensures existence continues. What places the presence at level 7 is his status as the absolute supreme being of DC's entire cosmology. There's nothing beyond him, nothing above him, and nothing that exists without his will. He's not part of a hierarchy with someone stronger. He is the top of all hierarchies, the source of all sources, the creator of creators. He's truly omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent within DC Comics. He's level 7 because he represents the ultimate endpoint of divine power, the being who created everything, knows everything, and whose will defines reality itself. He's the god of gods, the creator of creation, the supreme consciousness that makes all DC existence possible. When DC characters speak of fate, destiny, or divine will, they're ultimately referring to the presence's design, whether they know it or not. He simply is, in the most absolute sense, the beginning and end of all DC existence, the supreme being whose nature guarantees that DC's omniverse will exist for as long as he wills it. The presence is proof that in DC Comics there is ultimately one supreme authority above all others, and that authority is absolute, eternal, and beyond all limitation or challenge.